if this has been the best week of my life. And I hope anybody listening to this gets to experience this.
It's been pretty special.
This episode and honestly entire program is brought to you and made happen by Mo Do It. Mo Do It is the man. I'm a local comedian. I'm a shining example of how much he supports everything local. It's a slip and fall. Call Mo Do It. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. You know the limerick, you know the rhyme, and it's true. He's a great lawyer and even a better person. If you are in a car accident, you should call Mo Do It. Walking around in a convenience store and you slip and you fall, you should call Mo Do It. So I gotta say it, and I love saying it. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. That's justcallmo.com. Enjoy the show.
There's no holding back, I can tell you that we can handle it, baby. I'm for race until we go fast enough.
Wait for it, wait for it. We got one of those. Welcome to episode 23. This is back-to-back most special recordings, most special pieces of content, most memorable week of my life. This is the happiest I've ever felt. Welcome to Good Sauce. I just said it, but I'll say it again. It's episode 23. I am joined by, once again, the love of my life, the water to my boat, the wind to my sail, the cheese to my bread, the butter to my biscuit. I could go on forever. Miss Olivia Adkins.
Hey, I'm here.
That's my wife. I absolutely adore her. This is insane. This is the best. This is the best. If you're just joining me, last episode, my wife was about 2.5 years pregnant.
I was very pregnant.
Very pregnant.
It was hard to get comfortable. Now I can sit any position because I'm not pregnant anymore.
And now you can have caffeine again. And now, or not all the caffeine.
Not all the caffeine because I'm breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding like...
I don't want him to be too hyped.
Oh, man. And we also are joined with...
Our special guest.
Who's Miles. He definitely has a mic on right now.
Yeah.
Not a mic on, but we have a mic pointed towards his face because I thought it'd be really cool if randomly, whoever's listening to this, all of our beautiful listeners at Central Florida and abroad, because the internet is a wild place. And viral videos, believe it or not, kind of get people outside of the state even listening to this crazy thing.
And people love baby coos.
Yeah.
Not crying, but the little ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
ooh,
yeah.
ah.
Yeah.
Sometimes why? It is unreal. It is unreal. The first thing I would like to, I think I just said it. This is the happiest and most content I have ever felt in my entire life.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cliche because everybody's like, you'll never know this kind of love when you have a child. And you're always like, yeah, I mean, I love my husband. Of course I know that kind of love.
Yeah, I love Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I love Breaking Bad. Like, I believe in that show.
But yeah, it's truly like a different kind of love. And it, like, I feel like, I don't want to say that because it does sound so cliche, but it's so hard to describe of like your soul is part of this. Like, I feel like it's exploding with love.
This is the first time in my life where, and I've always been afraid of this C word. No, not that one. But I've always been afraid of feeling content because if you're content, then you're comfortable. And then that's a thin line between content and not getting anything done. Like if you're really, really content and you're comfortable, well, why would you work hard? And I've been pissed wrong about that. I am content right now, and it makes me want to work even harder because absolutely amazing. Life is wild. I've never felt more like a human. Everything, believe the hype. Believe the hype. If you are in
pretty rad. It's
gnarly, it's rad, it's amazing, it's filled with smiles. I have cried every day of the happiest tears. The mornings are the best moments of my life. Waking up and seeing him
Seeing him is,
next to you.
yeah, he's always next to me.
And right now, as we record this, we also have the whole family is in this camera shot right
Yeah.
now.
Both the dogs.
Both dogs, my son, my wife.
Yep.
I'm sure I'll cry on this damn podcast episode as well.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the whole birth story is pretty emotional, I would say.
Yeah. So we have two really long segments here. The first segment will tell you exactly what happened, and then the second segment we'll talk about kind of what we just touched on how different life is.
Yeah.
But let's go into a time machine. The last episode, you were closer to 10 months pregnant than 9.
Yeah, and we were kind of like anticipating how the birth would go. We had our birth plan, but things don't always go to plan.
You can just scrap that.
Yeah,
You got to be like wata and adapt.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing about birth is like you can have your plan, but you also need to know what you're going to do if your plan goes south.
Yes. So we'll go to last weekend.
Rewind to Monday last week.
I would say even Saturday last week.
Yeah, probably.
Where there was just we were playing video games.
And I thought that my water may have broken. Not like a big break, but like it was like a trickle.
It was a trickle, a leak.
And I texted our doula immediately and I was like, hey,
shout out to Chelsea.
Get
a doula.
Oh my gosh.
Go if you are pregnant and you don't have a doula, Chelsea Livering.
Yeah, from Enjoy Birth.
Enjoy Birth. My God.
company.
That was so clutch and great to have. A little, see, look, you can start to hear him now. Having a doula was absolutely amazing, and that is some of the best USD I have ever spent.
Yeah, I if you're trying to do a birth of any kind, I mean, a C-section, I guess you don't really, because only one person can be in the room.
Say, look, yeah, he's mic'd up. He's part of the pod now, Miles. You are part of the pod, brother. Yeah, having the doula was absolutely amazing.
So, yeah, we texted her on Saturday and I'm like, hey, I think my water, this might be the situation. And she said, well, you have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Why don't you call them first thing on Monday and let them know what happened and see how they want to move forward. There was no need for urgency. Like, it's okay if that's the situation. So that's exactly what we did.
Yep. And we prepared. We had our hospital bag. We had our emergency bag. We had all of those things.
Well, it wasn't all ready to go. So Monday
I lied. I take all of that back. We were
Most of it was ready.
wildly unprepared.
Most of it was ready. I think there was still like the last minute details we had to pack of like.
I remember we stopped for lunch as well.
I was
before
like,
we
this
went.
is our last lunch.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a last dinner. And it was Jersey Mike's.
Mole.
Yeah, it was Jersey Mike's. I got an Italian sub, and every bite just felt like, epic.
Yeah, and then we
it was
turned
the most
down,
epic sandwich I've ever eaten.
and when we were like, should we get cupcakes? And they were like, not worth a $5 cupcake.
Yeah.
And looking back now, we probably should have gotten that.
We should have gotten that $5 cupcake. It wasn't at Jersey Mike's doesn't sell cupcakes.
No,
it was like
a
a
store
business
next
right
door.
next door. So we go in Monday.
To the hospital at like 3:00.
Yeah. And I had a huge moment on that Monday. So yeah, we'll clock it. It's Monday the 9th. Yes,
yeah.
It's Monday the 9th. We are in a hospital room.
In the triage.
Where
they check you out.
Which is French for treehouse. There's so many new words that just entered my life. I've never even heard of a triage.
Yeah.
Triage sounds like,
It's where you go to like see if you're pregnant, if you're having a baby or not. If you're not having a baby, they send you home. If you are having a baby, you're not leaving the hospital.
And that I'll never forget 2 moments in that triage room when you were hooked up like Wolverine to a bunch of wires and machines.
So you mean the thing that was measuring my contractions and then the
Yes.
thing that was measuring his heart rate?
Yeah, those things. And it looks like you were like Weapon X, you know?
yeah.
Right? And the nurse looked at you and said, "Are you feeling any contractions?" And do you remember what you said?
I said, no, I don't think I've had a single contraction.
And then she looked at you and went, "Well, you're having a contraction right now."
And that's where I went, oh, okay.
Oh, it's happening. It's here. He's on his way. It felt like the most epic Uber Eats of all time.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you can see it like, oh, it's on its way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was shocked, honestly, because how long had I been having contractions and not feeling anything? Like,
Yeah.
that was my big question, because my stomach would be very tight the entire pregnancy. So I don't know if I just got burnt out. I just got used to the feeling. I don't know. But to hear that I was having contractions actively was like mind blowing to me.
And then I'll never forget when because they had to check if your water was broken.
Yeah.
And the test came back question marks, inconclusive.
pH test.
The pH test.
So they had to
exactly.
send
That's
it-
what I was going to say, because I
yeah.
never forgot that term.
No, never.
What is this, a damn fish tank?
Kind of. I think they use the same
I
stuff.
think it is. It's a lot like
It's
a
like a
fish
little
tank.
dipstick.
Yeah. It's a fish tank without the cool bubbles in the back.
And they were like, there's too much fluid for this not to be amniotic fluid. So we're going to send this off to the lab.
We'll send it to the, it felt like the elder council on top of a mountain. We must, go with the prophets to see if your water is broke.
Yeah. Then
And
we got sent for the ultrasound to see if there was still amniotic fluid around the baby.
which there was.
There was. And when we got back, I think this is the moment, right? That
Yeah, I don't think you saw her face when
I-
she
I
came
didn't.
in, and it was weird to say this, but it was not like a bad face, but it was definitely a frown, and she shook her head no, like,
she was smiling and shaking her head no.
yeah. She smiled and shook her head no. You guys are not leaving.
Yeah.
And that's Monday the 9th.
We get checked into the hospital that night.
Yeah, we're out.
We were very
we're out of the.
gratefully packed.
Yeah.
everything.
We're out of the treehouse, and I'm still filled with that Jersey Mike sub. And I think that was the last meal I ate until he was born.
No, there's no way.
I barely ate.
I mean, the hospital food was.
Well, the hospital food
It's
is
hospital food.
not only that. Like, how could you have any appetite at the hospital, because we're about to become parents, and the last thing I want to do is eat brisket, like like I'm so focused on
Yeah.
just being there for you. I can tell you this. So I think the rest of Monday is pretty chill.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started having contractions, and I was starting to dilate at that point. So the big issue was when my water broke, I was not dilated at all. So that's the opposite of what usually happens.
Yeah, and then so the water breaks, but we're not dilating enough, and then I can honestly say that Tuesday was the hardest day possibly in my life.
Because they want you to deliver within 24 hours once your water breaks.
Yeah, and
So they gave me till 11 a.m. to kind of figure out they gave me more than 12 hours, I think, right?
I don't know. I'm still
They
trying
were
to
very-
figure out what pH is.
They were very flexible with me at first, but once that got to a certain point and I was only like a centimeter dilated, they're like, all right, we got to get this process moving a little faster.
And then with your birth plan, to remind people listening, we are trying to go as Amish as possible. We're trying to, you wanted,
Not birthing in a barn.
yeah,
We
yeah.
went to the hospital, but
But no
medication.
No
So,
medication. We're trying to,
unmedicated.
as if the power was out during a hurricane. That's how you wanted to give birth,
Yeah.
which you and I have discussed this before. I kind of disagree with that, but I also love you way more than whatever I think. So I was like, I'm trying to fight like hell for my wife. She doesn't want an epidural, then we're not going to get an epidural. She doesn't want Pitocin, then she's not going to get Pitocin. So Tuesday rolls around, not enough dilation.
Yeah, and they can't use what they would normally use for like unmedicated births, which is something called a Foley bulb, which is like a balloon they blow up inside of you.
I was going to bring that up because I didn't forget about that term either.
Yeah, it's a balloon, I guess. I don't know, but they couldn't do it because my water was broken.
Yeah.
So my only option was Pitocin or misoprostol, I think is how you say it.
Yeah. Miso soup.
Miso. Everybody just kept calling it miso.
Yeah. I told a friend. I mean, I don't care. I called Jim the day he was born. If you don't know who Jim is, it's Jim Colbert. A great friend and still a massive father figure in my life. I called him up, and the first thing he said, yeah, miso horny. I was like, dude, this guy cannot stop making jokes. I love this guy. So the miso's there to soften the cervix.
Right.
And we were told, don't worry, it's not going to make the contractions worse. But
yeah, it's not supposed to do what Pitocin does, which Pitocin makes contractions.
And once the cervix softened, though, you were on a Lord of the Ring, Return of the King, like Mordor journey.
Yeah, it got really intense really fast. And I don't know if that's like something that my body just would have done once I got that dilated naturally, but maybe it just made it happen too fast. Who knows? But my contractions basically, I got to like 5 centimeters dilated, but I struggled those last between 3 and 5, I think, is where things got like really, really intense.
3 centimeters, 5 centimeters.
3 centimeters to 4 centimeters to 5 centimeters
was the worst I have ever felt.
Yeah.
And it's
you have ever felt.
Worst.
Okay, well,
it is. It really is. I'm sure it was the worst you've ever felt, but it was also like
it's hard seeing me like that.
Absolutely. Just writhing in pain, and it's happening, and people, all you do is sit and watch. And I'll never forget, I was trying to give you some high school football coach speeches. I kept reminding you of like all of our favorite memories of getting snowed in New York City and just all these moments. And it I was just trying to bring up like the greatest hits album of you and I to hopefully just keep going.
And even though I had nitrous oxide, which is one of the reasons we chose this hospital.
Yeah, a little laughing gas. What's up, man?
We're
here. We're here, man.
My voice sounded weird to me, but I guess it didn't sound weird to anybody else.
It sounded like you were ripping whippets. Oh man,
it's the same thing, right?
This is wild. I'm about to be a mom.
Whoa. My doula's like, "Do you want some honey for your voice?"
Yeah. It was something else. Just so now,
no, it's for energy. I'm like, okay.
So now things are getting real on the field.
Yeah, at 5 centimeters, the nitrous stopped working because my contractions were so. I didn't have the minute or 2 minutes in between that you would normally have in the contractions. My body just kind of went into a permanent contraction, I would say. Mm-hmm. Where I would have like a 10 to 30 second break.
If that.
Yeah, if that. And they were very intense, very severe, almost like I got Pitocin. Like
It looked, maybe they zigged instead of zagged and gave you Pitocin.
Maybe.
And you should know, though.
I only took two doses of the miso.
I really still believe that you could, and this is going to kind of spoil a little future of the story. I really do believe that you could have gone the full distance to 10 centimeters dilation. Mm-hmm. But the number one thing you didn't want to happen was a C-section. And
yeah, that was my number one goal, was to not have a C-section.
And once it was explained to you that we are burning a lot of gasoline right now, so to speak, we are afraid that all of your energy is going to be spent getting to 10 centimeters dilated, and you're going to need even more energy to push out this kid.
Yeah. My midwife came in at the 11th hour that day. She was working all day and then came by just to let me know that situation.
I remember.
She's so amazing.
Yeah. Chelsea. God, I'm going to get her on the pod. I told her I got to get you on the pod because.
And Andrea, the midwife. So the midwife delivers. The doula is like your coach.
Little coach, little cheerleader, a little high school band playing your favorite hits.
Yeah.
And completely always believing in you. It was amazing. I remember. Do you remember this? Because you kind of blacked out from the pain.
I blacked out from the pain, which was Like I've never blacked out from pain before. And
Yeah.
that was
Most
crazy.
pain you've ever felt in your life?
Yeah,
At 5 centimeters?
absolutely. But it wasn't like it was just from the constant contractions.
I asked you when you were at 5 centimeters, I said, hey, do you think you can do what you've done so far again? And when you just, do you remember your response?
No, I
It
don't.
was just more pain noises.
Yeah, because I had been at it for like 24 hours, and those past from
Yeah.
3 to 5 centimeters was a span of hours.
Yeah, and this is Tuesday, September 10th.
And I was just trying to tough it out as long as possible.
Yeah, and then once you couldn't respond to that question, I looked at you and I said, we've got to start talking about an epidural because
This was around like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 p.m. And then every mom who's had a kid told me, it was like, just get the epidural. Just get the epidural. And I was like, as much as I would be like, if I was a woman, I want to avoid as much pain as possible. I would just sign up for an epidural, but I'm also so pro you and so madly in love with you and knowing that your birth plan is your birth plan. Then let's keep letting it ride. But once you couldn't respond to that question, and then when it was then kind of let us know, like, hey,
This is our one chance because the epidural person's here. They're going to be leaving. You got to make a decision now.
so we go with the epidural, and then like a NASCAR pit stop.
Yeah. For how scared I was of getting an epidural, the capabilities of that anesthesiologist made me feel so good about
And
it.
I held your hand.
Did it in like 30 seconds flat. It was insane.
I felt really special during the epidural because everyone got kicked out of the room.
Yeah.
And then I was the
You had
only.
a cute little hairnet.
I had a hairnet on and a mask on because it's
It's surgical.
a surgery is happening on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know this epidurals or catheters. Like I said, dude, I've learned so many new terms. I've learned so much stuff in this last week. So the epidural hits, you finally get a break.
A break, yeah. But my contractions stop for 2 hours.
Completely stop.
And that's when I had to start Pitocin.
And then Pitocin happened.
Because at that point, we have to get this baby out of you.
Yeah.
And honestly, at that point with the epidural, I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to feel the Pitocin, so let's do it.
Yeah.
I was so burnt out. But from there, got to fully dilated by 10 a.m. the next morning.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? We'll stop it there. We will go ahead. I know. Stories, right? It goes quick. I'm a completely different man. Miles, you're looking super cute sitting next to your mom right now. Good sauce. This is episode 23. We do have to take a quick break. Shout out to our sponsors because without them, raising a child would be even that harder.
Yes, thank you, sponsors.
Yeah, thank you, Mo. Thank you, Half Barrel Beer Project. Thank you, Orange County History Center. We are excited. We're over the moon. Please keep listening. I promise you, we will be right back. It's the greatest episode ever. Beer lovers, rejoice! Half Barrel Beer Project are throwing an amazing Oktoberfest party September 21st. That's this Saturday. I'm talking pretzels, I'm talking bratwurst, I'm talking specially crafted beer for the amazing German holiday. I love Half Barrel Beer Project. It's an amazing small business right next to the convention center. I will be swinging by to celebrate the great holiday myself. Any holiday that involves beer, I kind of love. Once again, that's halfbarrelproject.com. And make sure to follow them on Instagram. They're a great follow because they're making beers that no one else in the state of Florida is making. I'll see you there, September 21st, this Saturday. Woo! Germany! Welcome back. Most special episode. Back-to-back greatest episodes of Good Sauce. It's only downhill from here. I love Joel. I love Renato. But this is just too epic. Man. Wow. All right, so where we last left off is that Olivia's birth plan was to not have an epidural, to not have Pitocin, and
Yeah, completely unmedicated.
That did not happen. We definitely needed an epidural, and we.
One thing led to another,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I wanted to happen, but it's what happened.
And if you're just joining us, we are two brand new parents, and we're talking about it.
Yep.
And
I have the baby on the couch next to me. He's fast asleep.
I feel like I'm talking different. I feel like a completely different person.
You sound a little less stressed, which is surprising because you think once the baby was here, you'd be more stressed.
No,
but
I didn't know. I had no idea that the second he entered this world, all of my anxiety, I've never experienced anxiety until this year.
yeah,
I've never had felt anything like that. I feel back. I feel rejuvenated. I keep telling all my friends that I feel like 25 again.
Was there a lot of fear surrounding me giving birth, do you think?
All of it. All of it. It's just this unknown event of having no idea. And also, if you're joining us just, right now, the baby is mic'd up. So
He is mic'd up.
he's asleep right now. We've timed that out. Shout out to breast milk.
He's milk drunk for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a little milk drunk right now, but you might hear him coo every now and then.
Yeah.
And just because he's here, he's asleep right now, but God, I'm so happy we didn't get an ugly baby.
Yeah, he's pretty darn cute.
I was so afraid. I was so afraid of having a baby. And maybe this makes me vain or makes me childish, but I don't care. I don't think
I
anybody.
think it makes you human.
I think I'm just being honest. My job as,
you don't want people to lie to you.
I don't want people to be like, oh wow, he's so cute.
I guess he looks just like you.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, bro?
Yeah. Like I would have hated that because I love people and I feel that is a strength of mine of being self-aware. It's what got me into comedy. It's what I know people. I can understand people. I feel confident with people. And I would have picked up on it like a shark does the blood in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, that's a baby.
That's a baby.
That's a baby.
Oh, he has your eyes.
Wow, he's got arms. And I've been
Look at
blessed.
that head of hair.
Yeah. Wow, look at his hair. And also, speaking of my baby's hair, he looks like a Lannister. He's got like the blondest hair.
Yeah, I've never seen a blonde baby born with lots of hair. Usually it's like they have dark hair if they have lots of hair.
Yeah, just a ton of hair.
And it's pretty adorable.
So much hair.
But we should get back to the story.
Yeah, you keep going.
So I think what we should do when I got the Pitocin, it was 10 a.m. and I was 10 centimeters dilated at 10 a.m. and my midwife came in.
Oh, poetic.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
but
you were
like,
10 for 10.
10 for 10.
10
and
during 10.
They're like, are you ready to give it all you got? And I'm like, I don't know.
Whoa. Let's back this up. We got tricked. And
Yeah.
for the better.
I guess if you're looking, yeah.
I have talked to other moms, and half of them
Got tricked too.
got tricked too. This is the almighty trick. If you are pregnant, heads up. They're going to be like, oh, you know what? Let's just try.
Do a few practice pushes.
Do a few practice pushes. Those are not practice pushes.
Yeah, because they're like, the baby has to drop. And I still don't know what that means.
Yeah, they were trying to explain it to me. I think it was all fabrication, all fibs, total lies.
I thought like maybe that it has to like his head still has to move past the cervix, but I guess that wasn't it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know. But so they're like, okay, well, we need him to drop a little bit more. So we're just going to try a few pushes and see if that helps. And
those were all real pushes. Those were
they didn't let me stop pushing.
Yeah. It's funny how the practice pushes really became just like the other real pushes.
Just what I was doing for the next 2.5 hours.
You pushed for 2.5 hours.
And I don't think as somebody who was doing as much research as they could on birth, I don't recall ever reading that pushing can take that long.
So I specifically remember we're an hour in, and I'll never I'll never forget Christy, the nurse, Andrea, the midwife. Just godsends. It was Advent Health out in Altamont. They are very good at their job. And the person who delivered our baby, Andrea, the midwife, we interviewed with her to choose which, venue.
Which hospital?
I guess I'm such a comedian. I'm talking about venues. It's not a venue. It's which
The greatest
hospital.
show of your life.
Yeah, but the fact that she was the first person that we met at that hospital, and now she's there, you loved her.
Yeah, she made it a point. She was supposed to be in interviews the whole day of my birth, and she moved all of her interviews around. At some points, she had to leave the room for 10 minutes here or there to go make a phone call.
Well, she had meetings.
Yeah.
And I remember she came back from one of the meetings and she said, I told my boss, I have to ask my questions first. Yeah. she was
so serious about being there for me, and I could not thank her more.
Same.
It was.
Oh, man.
We had a really, really good team in that room, and I think that was the thing where, because everything was not going to plan, a lot of times the word birth trauma gets pulled up, and I think things not going to plan definitely could trigger that in somebody. But for me personally, I felt like because the team was so supportive of me and tried everything they could do.
Oh, there he goes. He's a little pterodactyl, dude. God, I love my little dinosaur. If he starts crying a lot, we'll just cut. But Andrea.
Yeah, the team
Christy,
really makes a difference, is what I was going to say.
And our doula, Chelsea, and your mom is there. My mother-in-law, Care Bear.
Yeah.
And then some dumb, goofy dad, soon-to-be dad, is also there just really trying to focus. Because I'm seeing you push, and things are happening. This is happening. It's real. I remember Christy saying, go after it, go after it. I remember our doula saying, get angry. Do you remember that? Get angry?
Yeah.
I remember.
I don't want to be angry at the baby.
I think, well, I enjoyed that, piece of motivation. I did enjoy that.
I'm just not an angry person. That's not what was I was just I can do this.
Well, that's angry, I can do this.
I don't think that's angry. I think that's motivated.
It's me against Mother Nature. 2.5 hours of pushing.
Yeah.
And
that was very shocking to me. But it's on average, most people push between a half an hour and 3 hours, which I was where are people hiding this info? Because you always hear the stories of the baby fell out of me. And
yeah.
I think on the last podcast, I'm that's what I was hoping would happen, is that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how any birth goes down, right?
No.
Maybe on the second kid. The second kid, makes a little sense.
As the nurses say, I have a proven pelvis now.
Nice. We both have pee-pees. All three of us have pee-pees.
Oh, there we go.
I will never forget our midwife, Andrea. We were at the 2.5 hour mark. Mm-hmm. Or I guess I should say 2:25. 2 hours, 25 minutes into it, you are pushing, and then it kind of got a little serious because Andrea looked at us and said, Olivia, and I think that was the first time whenever I hear your full name, I'm like, oh, something is serious.
They kept calling me mama.
Yeah. And then she said, Olivia, this next push is it.
It's make or break.
It's kind of it's game 7,
Because his head was so big, they didn't know if I could push it out of me.
Yeah, and then some red flags started to happen. Just because we're 2.5 hours in, I think you're running out of some steam. That's what they were afraid of.
Because they would have me push. I would have to push with the contractions, and it was 4 pushes per contraction, basically 4 10-second pushes, and those. Once we got towards the end, those last 2 pushes on there were very difficult.
Yeah, I was putting oxygen on your face. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if that did anything, to be honest with you.
I thought that was for the baby more than anything.
Yeah, no, I think it was honestly for me to feel like I was helping. I think they like gave me a participation trophy of being able to put, pure oxygen over your mouth.
Yeah. I think it helped. I don't know. I couldn't really tell the difference in that moment.
I'm sure all I knew is it's like, I have a purpose. Yeah. Focus. I'm also really happy that it was both your mom and I definitely got the
tag teaming.
Well, no, I was about to say that we both had the moment of you during, getting not angry at us, but
I guess
telling
I did
us,
get angry, like they asked me to.
I think you got a little bit angrier at. Yeah, I just remember being shut down. I don't even know why I did that. First of all, what I'm trying to say is like, you're giving birth, you're pushing. Here it is. This is it. The Stanley Cup is on its way.
Yeah, you got emotional and you started trying to like be like, you're beautiful, you got this. And I'm like, don't talk to me.
No, that was your mom like kept petting you.
Yeah.
And then you were like, don't pet me.
Yeah. I didn't want.
You started talking like sugar water.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody talking to me. Oh, buddy. Sorry for our listeners.
That's our life now. Wait, that's not even a baby. That's a pterodactyl.
Yeah, our little eagle is what I'm calling him, but he's screeching away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want anybody touching me. I didn't want anybody talking to me. I just wanted to focus.
And then my moment was weird. I don't even know why I did that. I think it's because I was scared
You
or
become
nervous.
like a railroad worker.
Yeah. I started like,
spirituals. I was like, what are you doing?
yeah. I started humming like.
It's so weird.
Honestly, like an old blues. Yeah, I don't hum. I've never hum. I don't even like humming. If you're gonna hum, then sing. Let it all out. I just couldn't. I think I was just on a knife's edge. I'd never been there before. So whenever you've never been there before, you start doing things that you've never done before. And I hummed, and then you bit back at me, and I was like, I'm not making another noise.
Yep.
I'm just going to keep putting on this oxygen mask, which probably doesn't do anything, but it definitely made me feel like I was part of it.
But yeah, and then like that was pretty close to the end at that point though. Like I think he had started to crown and they're like, do you want to touch his head? And I was like, no, I don't want, like the idea of touching his head freaked me out.
That was weird.
But they insisted, like they almost like grabbed my hand and put it on his head, even though I did not want to.
Yeah.
And it was bizarre because they're like, here's his head coming out of you. And meanwhile, I could still feel his feet underneath my ribs as I was pushing.
Yeah.
Because he was just that long.
It gives you an idea of how long our baby was. When Andrea said, it's time, here we go. You grabbed those 2 bars on the side of the bed, and then
I gave it everything I got.
Miles was born.
Yep.
And then
as soon as his head came out, everything else came out easy because he has a very large head.
Yeah, he has a large head, and he's also not a small baby.
No, 9 pounds, 15 ounces.
Yeah. Oh man, little man, I know you don't like podcasts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I know. So 9 pounds, 15 ounces, and what, 22 and a half inches long?
22 and a half inches long.
Oh,
buddy, I know. I don't even know if this makes good audio programming, but like I said, I'm not gonna lie on this recording.
Yeah.
And we can't record the podcast and not keep eyes on them.
I know. And so after that, like everything kind of was just like a whirlwind of like hospital. Like there was so many people in that room at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know, buddy. I know. What I knew it was about to happen too is when like 6 people run into the room right before that final push.
Oh yeah, and there was only one other time that happened.
Yeah. Okay, not even really my fault, I think, on that one. Because a nurse told me, it was like, hey guys, if you need anything, just hit.
This is day 2 of us being in the hospital.
Yeah. The day before, a nurse told me, was like, hey, if you guys need anything, all you have to do is just hit this button. And I specifically remember that nurse going, I don't even know why this button is red. And I can tell you why the button is red now.
You're never supposed to push a red button.
I know. And I know that now, but you heard her say that? Do you remember her saying, like, I don't know why the button's red. We just wanted water.
Yeah.
So I go over to this button. I hit it. Bang. 6 women. All different ethnicities, too, which was
in
like
different outfits. There's
different
like
outfits.
A doctor, like a nurse.
I think there was a mechanic that showed up. Like the
maintenance staff.
Yeah, the custodian, an artillery of women just busting in the room, and they're all catching their breath. I even curse. I get scared. Like maybe they know something I don't.
Yeah, am I redlining?
Yeah,
or flatlining?
Yeah, I had no idea. I got so scared, and I put my hands up. I go, "Whoa, no! We need water.
Yeah,
we need ice water." And that was a
you
little.
hit the wrong red button.
Yeah, and I just saw all of them collectively, like, oh god, this guy.
It was really embarrassing.
Yeah, all of their shoulders dropped. They were like, and then they just moseyed on out.
I'm in the middle of the contraction, like, oh my god, why did I bring him? No. You were my biggest support. I don't feel that way at all, but that was very embarrassing.
That's the one cool thing is that I mean, there's so many cool things. I can't even say one cool thing. It was an absolute honor and treat to sleep on those hospital couches. I do mean that.
An honor, but maybe not a treat.
I do mean that. It was an honor and a treat because you've put so much work being the vessel for our son and being I know I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but people do this. There was no alcohol, there was no bad foods. You went above and beyond. It was all of the work. The least I could do was sleep uncomfortable.
Yeah, in the middle of summertime, a Florida summer.
You did all the work.
Peak pregnancy.
You did everything. You aced that test. And I don't take that for granted because there's a lot of people on this planet. There's a lot of people that, slip up. And I'm not judging you guys. I'm just complimenting my wife. I just know that you did all of that work. So the least I can do is be there for you as much as I possibly can.
And you were definitely there for me. It surprised me of like how much I relied on you in those moments.
I always told you, I said, hey, we don't put ourselves in situations where, when the baby poop hits the fan. Yeah. I always told you, I said, when it gets serious and things are getting for real in my life, I feel like I have a pretty good track record. And I do avoid situations where I feel like I need to be super serious because that's not how I want to spend my time on this planet. I want to have fun. I want to laugh. I want to,
Well, you made giving birth as fun as it could be.
Yeah,
for sure. But
which is not that much fun.
It's not that much fun, but he made it as fun as possible.
I do have a hot take though.
All right, what's the hot take?
And I've been sharing this hot take, and I would love to have this on record. Look, if you're a guy and you are telling other guys to not look at birth,
at the baby coming out of me,
you are a POS to me. Off of this experience and this event, if you are telling people not to look or you did not look, I'm trying to hold me back, get angry at men who are just not. Ironically, I think you're the pussy. You should see the cost.
Yeah.
You should see.
Show birth the respect it deserves.
I wouldn't even say birth, but your partner.
Yeah.
You. Yeah. I'm very, also, I was very happy to finally prove to you that.
I was going to say for somebody who I have seen get queasy over a few drops of blood.
And we have always disagreed on this. And I will throw this out here. I cut my finger one time and I put it underneath hot water, which I found out you're not really supposed to put hot water in an open wound.
It was a paper cut.
It was not. It was a coffee cup.
Oh.
And
yeah.
and I broke it and it sliced my finger and I was like, ah, and I put it underneath hot water and then I'm already white, but then I became like translucent.
Yeah, you had to hold on to something.
I became a crescent moon of whiteness, loose leaf.
And to be fair, your birth plan was that you were not going to look. You were like, because you were like, I don't think I'm going to look. Like, I'm going to stay right by your side, right by your face.
But then when I saw what was happening,
what changed your mind?
It was the least that I could do. The least the man can do and off of this event is be there and also know 100% of what's happened. 120%. You should look. You should see what your wife or partner has done for this family to understand the full sacrifice and the amount of work.
Because the recovery is very hard. And I think that helps gives a perspective too on like what recovery looks like. And I'm speaking like I would assume that you understand better now what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
1,000%. 1,000%. I don't want to be ignorant to what how birth affects the woman's body. And I know every birth is different, and I'm sure some people will listen to this and go like, but that's just because I didn't look doesn't mean I'm a man. Yeah, kind of, sort of, to me right now.
Oof, that's a hot take.
Why? Yeah, I don't know. But
if you're going to pass out, it's almost better not to look. Like, you need to know how you're going to
You would have to be diagnosed with, like, scared of bloodophobia for me to not say, no, look. Don't deny reality.
Yeah.
Don't live in this ignorant. And ignorant always comes off so harsh, but I just wish every man would look at birth to have a whole new level of reappreciation, to appreciate moms, pregnant women in general. My world has been turned upside down, and one of the biggest things that turned that up on its x-axis or y-axis, whatever, I'm not good with math. I don't even know if that is math, is seeing what birth is, which is, I'm not sure if you know this, the most integral part of the human species.
Yeah.
And you just because it makes you a little queasy?
Yeah.
What?
Like, how do you think you got here?
Man up.
Yeah.
Man up.
Yeah.
I really,
you did.
I'll die on that hill. I stared at a placenta. I stared at him. God. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so different. It really is a game changer. I look forward to the future. At the moment he was born, I felt like all negative feelings that I could feel just evaporated.
Yeah.
So
as soon as they put him on my chest. And
yeah.
Yeah.
So the least you can do for your wife, or even if you're not married, you just be there and understand the full scope of what she has gone to as much as you can. And guess what? When you look, that's probably 2% because that's one moment out of 9.5 months that your partner is dedicated to you. You know,
well, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because somebody needed to.
I don't know. I guess it's a hot take. Maybe it's just I'm just running off of an energy drink and seeing you.
No, you're very passionate about this. You've brought it up several times of like,
yeah.
And I do think it's like a really important view to have, because it was extremely hard. And I think enough people don't look. And I'm glad you did, because at the same time, like, I wish I could have seen myself from that angle, you know? Like,
well, they did offer a mirror, which I did think was weird. There are weird moments throughout this whole thing, but don't lie to yourself.
I didn't want to see myself in the moment, but I would have if I was the viewer, I would have liked to see, like, I would love to see a birth one day.
Now,
But it being yourself and watching yourself.
you're a little busy.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to lose focus. I got to get this baby out of me.
You're a little tied up.
Yeah.
Also, throwing this out here, I completely jinxed our child's birthday. Ever since I found out that we were going to be parents.
When you announced it, I think it was people making the jokes of like, that's close to September 11th.
Yeah. Oh, and I've doing a lot of comedy this past year. I have like 3 minutes of material on why I didn't want a 9/11 baby.
Which I'm a little offended because my birthday is Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah, which let's call. My son was born on 9/11 and my wife was born on Pearl Harbor. So, and my birthday is July 21st. I think something bad is going to happen on that day.
No.
It's just weird to have a household filled with American tragedy.
Yeah, well,
But
good things come from bad things sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. It's
funny because I looked it up, and the most common day for first-time moms to give birth is 40 weeks and 5 days, and that's exactly when I gave birth.
Wow. There you go. There's a little Snapple fact for you.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. But yeah, September 11th, Mr. Miles came into this world.
And just when I saw him cry, and also shout out to all the dads who gave me a heads up, like, yo, when he first comes out, don't be scared. His head's going to be a little crazy. Mm-hmm. And I fully expected that. And his head was a little crazy because, that thing is malleable. It's like Nickelodeon putty.
Yeah. It was definitely misshapen, but
I will say
it corrected itself very fast.
I did have this moment, and I thought this was very, very funny to me, was that I looked over Andrea, our unbelievable midwife. Mm-hmm. She had delivered over 4,000 babies. I asked her.
Yeah.
And she, 4,000 babies. She's done that 4,000 times.
You could tell.
You could tell. And so much so, maybe you could tell arguably a little too much.
Yeah.
there was this, after it was all said and done. I don't think you've seen this photo yet.
No.
I have this photo. I look over.
I haven't seen many photos.
You're holding the baby on the chest. Also, when the baby first comes out, another NASCAR pit stop moment happens. Because now there's 6 other people in the room. They throw down
Everybody has a job.
Everyone has a job. There's this little
suction
mm-hmm. thing that they put down the baby's throat. They squeeze that. They mm-hmm. get stuff out.
They dry him off.
They dry him off. He is crusty. And he gets put on the chest, and everyone's like, I'm crying so hard.
Yeah. I didn't even see those moments of them doing that because I push him out and then I kind of collapse back on the bed. And then next thing I know, I look up and they're putting him on my chest. That's how fast it happened.
And yeah, it's pretty wild how fast those things go. I almost feel like it happened so fast that he may have gotten tossed to another person. Here we go.
Yeah, football toss across the room.
Hup, 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 hup. Blue 42, Oklahoma Heights. It's something else. When that baby got put on the chest and everything's winding down, I look over at the baby goddess herself, Andrea, over at Advent Health in Altamont. God, I will never forget that woman. She is playing with your placenta. and I'm like, what? She has her finger. Mm-hmm. And she's spooling it around her finger. Mm-hmm. And then she let go, and then she put her finger, and then she was spooling it around her finger again. And I'm watching her do this. Is everything okay?
Yeah, is there something wrong?
Is something wrong? Are we going to find out that the placenta didn't do its job?
Yeah.
In that moment, I'm jumping to worst case scenarios all of a sudden all over again.
Yeah.
And then she looks up. She cracks a smile and winks. And then I look back at the placenta. The umbilical cord now says something. she had made the umbilical cord say the word love. And let me tell you, what a juxtaposition that is.
That sounds like a really great Valentine's Day card.
Thanks for the idea, and I will see you in February.
Okay, great.
And when she winked at me, and I look back down and I see that, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It was weird. I was more at comfort seeing the damn placenta than I am seeing the word love. Like, wait. An English word doesn't belong there right now.
That's an umbilical cord, lady. What are you doing?
I just thought, like, all right, that's a choice. Yeah. That's all right. I guess we're doing that. And I'm a
little sad I didn't see that in person.
I cut the cord. That was cool. I loved it all.
I would have chosen a different 4-letter word, I think, in that moment.
There's no better way to end this radio broadcast and podcast. Yeah. What?
We didn't even get to the part about life now, but
you know what we'll do? Because this is such a special episode. This is the end of our radio slotted time. But we're gonna crank out one more segment. But you're gonna have to listen to the podcast for that one. My name's Ross. That's Olivia. That's Miles. He's passed out.
Thanks for listening, guys. We have a baby now.
I'm a dad. I grew up here. Orlando will help me raise them. I love you all. It's an honor, a privilege, and a treat to be able to tell people about the History Center that we've been blessed with here in Orlando, Florida. 4 stories of imagination, 4 stories of learning, 4 stories of memories.
Within those 4 stories, we hear the story of the Watermark, 30 years of LGBTQ plus coverage. Before it was as heavily covered as it is now, they were kind of setting the standard.
Every 3rd Thursday of every month, GOAT of date nights. From 5 to 9 p.m., they open up the doors. It's kind of like an adult-themed kind of night.
It's every adult's favorite price. Free.
If you love Central Florida and you love Orlando and you want to know more about how it came to be, the History Center is the place to be. That kind of rhymed.
That did rhyme.
It might have been the same word. Regardless, thehistorycenter.org. We're going extra. If you joined us from the radio, if you joined us from the radio, this is one more segment because I can't stop talking about being a dad. It's the best. We talked all about the birth, but I feel like it's important to talk about how it is being parents.
Yeah, now that he's here, things are very different, but in the best way possible.
Beyond.
Yeah. The lack of sleep could probably get some more sleep, but it's totally worth it.
I'll promise you one thing: we could be getting a whole lot less sleep. I'm sure that's easy for me to say because you're breastfeeding every like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, basically 2 hours is the goal. Sometimes I sneak a little extra 30 minutes.
Hey, watch out! You're bad mama.
It's hard to wake him up.
A badass mama. Badass mama. The first thing I would say about being a dad is it has brought me so much joy. I have never felt... I used to hate sitting if I didn't do anything in a day, I would really beat myself up. I wouldn't like myself. I would go, you've got to work harder. Now doing nothing brings me to a space of content that I have never felt in my life.
Yeah.
This is the happiest I have ever been.
Same. Yeah. I didn't know I could feel this happy.
By 1,000%.
Yeah.
I've never felt so joyous. I've never felt so proud of... This is how... I'm so proud of myself for marrying you.
Well, thanks, babe.
I went into this thinking that another gym quote was that heads up, the baby's gonna like her more, which I of course am fine with, but I just wanted to make sure that you didn't feel left alone or stranded. I didn't think I could love you more or trust you more or believe in you as an individual more, but that got just floored. That just got demolished at this peak right now. The best decision I have ever made was falling in love with the purple-haired girl at work.
Gosh, you're gonna make me cry on this podcast.
Yeah, possibly. Who knows? And that's what you deserve. You should feel loved to the point of crying, because I feel loved to the point of crying. I have cried so much.
I feel like my love for him exploded in a way that I've never felt before, but also my love for you and seeing you throughout the entire birth and how you supported me was unlike anything we've experienced in our relationship so far.
No.
First and foremost, like, we've had hard times. There's been things that we've had to deal with.
Please put the coffee cups away.
I'm talking about bigger items than just the coffee cups. But,
Yeah.
we've
Just the coffee. She says just the coffee cups.
let it go. But we've dealt with like some pretty big health stuff, pet stuff. You know, we've had like big moments together, but nothing like this. And I think seeing you and how supportive you were for me throughout the entire birth process, and seeing you step into the role of dad and learning how to change the diapers and learning how to hold him, and just anytime I just see you two interacting, like, my heart just explodes. Like, it's a whole new level of like love and adoration that I didn't know that could exist.
Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
He's a lot of fun. Babies are fun.
He's not really doing anything, but like, you just stare at him all day.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Because he's not an ugly baby.
Yeah, we didn't get an ugly baby. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry for all the ugly babies, but I think the news drops
Some grow
tonight.
up to be cute.
Yeah. Some, coin flip chance. But New York Times, I believe it drops tomorrow. The news that we actually got awarded the greatest baby of all time.
Yeah.
You should see it on like CNN and Fox bottom tickers.
Yeah.
Miles Carson Padgett awarded greatest baby of all time.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 on cuteness.
10 out of 10.
Adorableness.
Even his poop smell pretty good. I've smelled his poop. Not like whiff, but
Yeah.
that's not even bad.
Yeah. Because last night was the first time where it was
Yeah, technically his first poop was last night.
his first like real.
And
At first they have the meconium.
Meconium.
That's the
Which-
black tarry stuff.
Which
is
sounds
so-
like what Captain America's shield is made out of.
grade A meconium.
It's grade A meconium. It's bulletproof. It is the best. My heart feels, I feel like I am Act 3 Grinch, where my heart has gone 3,000 times the size
Yeah.
it is. I immediately stopped smoking weed. I immediately, just so many things.
After I've been asking you to do it for 9 months. I'm like, if I can't do it.
Yeah. And I can't really defend too much of my actions in the last 9 months, but I'm proud.
You had to deal with the stress of me being pregnant. Right.
I don't know. In some ways, I felt like I'm just so happy that you're not pregnant anymore. Is that bad to say?
No, I'm happy I'm not pregnant anymore.
Yeah, I'm just so stoked that journey is at its end, because in a lot of ways I have missed you tremendously.
Yep. I've missed myself too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have a glass of wine. I already had a glass of wine, but like, I'm waiting for that first like Aperol spritz. That's what I'm looking forward to, because that's gonna be heavenly.
Yeah.
I already know.
I've thought about my dad. My dad passed when I was 13, but he was kind of really out of my life at like 6 or 7. And it is definitely the first time since I was 13 where I really, really missed my dad when you unveiled that pregnancy test on Christmas night.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotions that happened pretty quickly.
It is,
It's crazy to think it was Christmas, right?
Yeah. And I'll be brutally honest that I'm not the biggest family man. I haven't been. Throughout all my formative years, I wasn't. My brother had moved out. My mom's working a lot.
You didn't really have a tight-knit family unit.
No, and it's
Your
not.
friends did.
And I'm so grateful for the family that I received, but I just, actions speak louder than words. I didn't have that a whole bunch.
Not a traditional dynamic of a
Now,
family.
who really does, right? I just know that my story kind of my life and my formative years of being a teenager and a child to a young adult at 18 wasn't the most filled with family stuff, family things.
Yeah.
What I really, really look forward to is changing that. I can't wait to become a family man.
Yeah, somebody just gave you the keys to a new car.
Oh, and it's the best.
It's a minivan.
Yeah, and it's a minivan. It's the best. I look forward to making memories. One of my favorite memories is
Traditions too.
Traditions and birthday parties. I've always thought this since I found out I was going to be a dad, that I look forward to third grade. Third grade is the best, and I can't wait to see how he does in third grade.
See, I think first grade is the best.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just
Feel like a big girl?
because they're learning how to read in first grade. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Maybe that's why I liked third grade, because that's when I learned. That's when I started to learn.
Hey. They're like, you need to be learning cursive, and you're like, I'm working on it.
Cursive? What? It's just been phenomenal this first week. I thought it was gonna be hell.
Well,
The first,
I'm gonna say this is that I'm very happy that this podcast is being recorded 6 days post birth, because if it was 2 days post birth, I don't think that I physically, mentally would have been able to do it. Because
that's another.
recovery was a little recovery is hard. I mean, if you have surgery or if you have just a vaginal birth.
You are. I've been calling you a warrior for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I still think of you.
Yeah.
And now all moms. And it doesn't even. If you're a mom, you are a warrior.
Well, thanks, babe. I definitely have the war paint on my cheeks now. I feel like.
Do you?
Yeah. Because this past week, I will say he is a whole other thing to manage, but managing my recovery is unlike anything I've had to do before.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had to struggle in the ways that I have struggled physically. And I'm very blessed to say that, right? That this is the most pain and I guess attention that I have had to give myself constantly multiple times through the day just to feel like I'm functioning normally.
You got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
A little Miles
that
truck.
was the surprising thing, because pushing the baby out was so physically demanding. The next few days was I had an intense gym session. The soreness of my body from head to toe was the hardest thing, because yeah, it was intense. But and then you're trying to carry around a 10-pound baby when it feels like you've been lifting 50-pound weights.
That is a 10-pound baby.
Yeah.
He's a little titan. He's tall. He's got monster feet.
He does.
His hands and feet are enormous.
Which I hope is a good sign of it.
I mean, I could tell you as a dad, having big feet's probably a good sign.
It's kind of like a puppy. And it's when their feet are really big, when their paws are really big, it's oh, that's going to be a big dog.
That's not exactly where I was going. I mean, maybe that is exactly. Yeah, that is going to be a big dog. It's the best. This is the absolute best.
What?
Glowing. Now I feel pregnant.
You look pregnant.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
You got the glow.
Yeah, I think it was the amount of cookies that I ate at the hospital. That's the only thing I ate at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's you can keep your sweet potato yams. I don't want to eat anything mushy.
No turkey sausage, thank you.
Yeah, no turkey sausage.
Cookies in that one smoothie that they delivered for me, and I was like, Nah.
Yeah. I was like, I'll drink your smoothie.
I was like, did you order a smoothie, babe? And they're like, no, it's just for the moms.
No, it's not.
I didn't order this.
Yeah. It was.
How do you feel like day
you're-
one in the hospital?
I don't think I've ever gotten asked a question on this podcast. I love this.
How do you like day one in the hospital with him versus like coming home with him?
Coming home is my favorite part throughout this entire thing. I will.
Like the action of driving home or just being at home with him?
I think driving home is the most special.
That was a
20 minutes. We're bawling.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure to idle down our street. I didn't want that moment to end.
Yeah.
Seeing our home. And now I really feel like, there's so many like adages that like stack up. Like home really is where the heart is. And I just, driving home, I wish I could. I'm getting choked up thinking about it.
It's almost like you wish you had somebody recording us coming down the street and recording us in the car. Like I wish that moment.
I see
like,
that.
It was such
I
a
disagree
picture.
with. I disagree with that.
Well, it was just it felt like such a picture perfect moment.
I've so far and really put things in. And the only reason why I disagree with that is because no matter who you are, or I'm a different person off this mic. This is an exaggerated version of myself for hopefully entertainment value. I try to be as honest as I can. I think all podcasters or entertainers are always striving to be their honest self on a stage or in front of a camera or whatever it is. That's why it's work. That's why it's a skill set. So having a camera on me during that moment would not have been preferred.
No, I just meant like it felt like a scene from a movie. And I don't usually ever say that, but like that moment in time was like burned into my brain.
It reminded me that it's been picture perfect.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I could die happy knowing that I fell in love. I got married. She got pregnant. She gave birth. The kid is healthy.
Yeah.
And we're driving up to a house.
Yeah, we're very blessed.
And I feel bad for people who haven't who don't get. I just feel very lucky. I feel so happy and I feel so blessed. It's got me thinking that there's a higher deity looking out for me. It is some things I know a lot of people get things and they feel like they don't deserve it, and this is it, at times it feels like that. I feel why do I deserve that memory? Why? I don't think anybody deserves anything, sort of, kind of.
Right.
But just we were driving down, Dean Martin was playing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got into Dean Martin the week.
Yeah.
The way you look tonight.
Yeah.
That whole drive, and I wish I would have even driven slower. I
didn't want it to end.
Yeah, and then I remember your first step into the house and how just epic that first step was. I made sure to look at your feet on that first step into
Over the threshold.
over the little doorway,
Why was that so important to you?
because I wanted them. I wanted those to be memories.
Yeah.
And
The little snapshots in your brain.
it's been so weird for me that I've been so focused like third grade and stuff, but Mr. Miles, Money Miles, has put me directly where I should be, which is the now.
Yeah.
And so,
You can't really focus on anything but the now when he's here, you know?
yeah, like I still have plans and I still have goals, but those goals and plans cannot happen if you don't focus and love your now. And I'm obsessed with my now. I'm obsessed with it. I'm in love. I am in love with my life, and it kind of feels like the first time. It is
because every moment with him is so fleeting, you know? And I think that's where I get really emotional.
He's changed already so much.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a week. Tomorrow will be a week, and I feel like for me, I know you keep saying like third grade and first grade and all these like teenage years, and for me, I look at him, and when I get really emotional, it's because it's like I don't want him to change because he's just so perfect the way he is, and I don't want to see that change, and there's something beautiful of like knowing it's going to happen no matter what. But like right now it's like he's just so perfect and innocent, and it's hard to know that there's the big bad world out there waiting for him, and who he's going to grow up to be. And I like to think we're going to do really a good job being parents and like teaching him the rights and wrongs of the world, but right now we don't have to worry about that. And that's the biggest thing.
Right
is
now,
like, we just have to stare at him and feed him and
Yeah.
change his diapers. And there's the beauty and the simplicity of that. And I think that's where it's like, I want to soak this in, and I don't want to forget a single second. And that's where I get really emotional, is like, you can't remember everything. And like, am I not going to remember him this small? Because
You will. I'll make sure of it.
taking lots of pictures, but like his little bald eagle screech that he does.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't recorded that yet, but I need to because it's so unique. And I'm like, I've heard babies cry before, but I've never heard them do that. And the way his little chin quivers before he starts screeching, it's, oh man,
when
there's
I
so
was
many special things.
When I was in middle school,
Yeah.
being a goofball and being funny and trying to get people to laugh and stuff, I would just impersonate a raptor,
Yeah.
right?
I've seen you do that a few times as an adult too.
Yeah, I haven't really stopped. The jersey's still on. It's not in the rafters.
Yeah.
They're the raptor rafters. And the first night that I called my best friend, who's also been on this podcast, who's also a nurse, he didn't know, he doesn't know this, and he'll only find this out if he listens to this. But I was talking to him, and he made that noise, and he sounded like a dinosaur. And he said he's just like his dad. He's already doing the raptor. And it's just the best. It's the most love. It's the most I've ever loved living. It's the most I've ever lived for love.
He is a little love. He's just perfect. He's perfect. And definitely has a lot of your features besides the screech.
Yeah.
He's got your little nose. His hair color is something else. But what do you think has been the hardest part about him being home? Do you think
The hardest part, I have, it's so far, it's been 100% great. I think the hardest part of him being home is that going out for work and leaving.
Yeah.
But then that gives me one of the best parts, which is like driving home is amazing.
Yeah.
And coming home and knowing that there's a wife and my son is, I've never felt so full. I've never felt so fulfilled. I speak into this microphone with tears welling up in my eyes because it's hard for me to think that I deserve all of this because it's just so much.
It is a lot.
It feels like somebody just gave me $1 million for no reason. You would love that $1 million, but you would also be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. It definitely feels that way.
You would feel a little, I didn't deserve this. When you win the lottery and you win and you get all that money, it's not like other wealthy people who are self-made from creating a business accept you. Mm-hmm. And I need to adjust to understand that it's okay for me to feel like this. because I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because it's just so much love. It's so much.
Yeah.
I am.
A lot of love. And
I'm
it's like-
almost uncomfortable with how great this is.
yeah.
I've never experienced this. It's like fighting water in a desert. It's life is
The
hard.
happiest you've ever been in your life.
Life is hard, and at times you think, why is it so hard? Why do we keep doing this? Or not? I shouldn't say why do we keep living? Obviously to experience things, but I ain't never seen anything like this before.
No.
I've never felt better in
I agree. No, yeah.
and you're such a huge part of that. I'll gloat and boast about you for a quick second. He would be bad news if it was with anybody else.
I feel the same way.
I would not look
definitely
I
feel
would
the
not
same
look
way.
at that child the way I do if you weren't his mom and my wife. I believe in you so much as a woman, as a mom. It has turned everything upside down. I can't wait.
Or has it turned everything right side up?
Okay, yeah, everything right side up, and it's weird. I'm used to microphones, but not like this. I everything is so new. I've never. After it was done, my brother met me down in the bottom of the hospital, and I just needed to catch some fresh air, and then I looked outside, and it was the first time. I haven't told you this. It was the first time I saw society being a dad, and it was the most beautiful perception of existence. The color green. I looked at grass. I was touching different textures.
Everything just looks like brighter.
Everything is better.
Yeah.
It's better. It's so much better. And I didn't think that I was going to fall in love with living all over again. I didn't think I was going to fall in love. Like, the color green looks different.
Yeah.
The skies look different. Looking at clouds look different. I've never...
And that's before we even get to like see it through his eyes, you know? I think once he starts discovering things, that's where it gets even more emotional, because it's like he's experiencing everything for the first time, and by proxy we're experiencing it for the first time. We're going to get to experience the parts of life that we don't remember.
3 things, and we'll wrap this up. 3 things that you look forward to the most with him being a human being that we get to observe. I'll go first and give you a break.
Okay.
The first time he feels like he's accomplished something is going to melt me.
Yeah.
To have any the first time weird thing, I'm a golfer, but the first time he pars a hole, if he's even into golf, whatever his activity is, the first time he pars whatever it is, the first time he feels proud of himself, like he did it, it's gonna floor me. And it's an absolute privilege to be able to experience someone's first time tasting the sweet taste of victory.
Yeah.
Or whatever that victory is. You can map it over the first time he cooks something successfully, the first time he dribbles past somebody
Rides a
successfully,
bike.
the first time he rides a bike. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
your turn. Because
Was that 3? I don't even know.
no, it was just the first time I would say that he feels like he has accomplished something, and that he looks at me or you and goes, did I do it? And then the answer is a God honest
Yeah, baby.
yes.
Good. Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie to him. If he didn't do it, then you didn't do it.
Try better next time.
Try better next time. And I look forward to that as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be amazing when he pursues any activity and accomplishes the first small part of it.
Yeah. I think what I look forward to is when he recognizes our faces for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he understands that this is dad and this is mom, and getting the reactions.
That's soon, right? When is that? I don't know. I
I
don't know the
don't-
timeline for anything.
I don't know either. But
That makes it better. Don't look
Yeah.
that up.
yeah.
I want to get flanked by that.
Yeah.
The first time he recognizes us is big.
Because like
I like that. That's a great answer.
yeah, because right now it's like he needs us for survival, but I don't think like he's staring at us, right? But I don't. He recognizes our voices.
He's basically eaten. Listen,
He's
I
like
have
a potato.
I have eaten hallucinogenics before, and it looks very similar.
He's going cross-eyed occasionally.
I once had a friend eat 14 grams of mushrooms, and they are acting identical.
Oh my gosh.
Complete, total ego death. It's
Sucking on a pacifier.
sucking on a pacifier. It's got to be somewhat similar.
But the other thing, gosh, all of mine are like short term. Because I think about when he recognizes our faces, but I'm also thinking of like when he like when he reacts to something we do for the first time, like when he laughs or
I was gonna say laugh. Don't take my second one. I'll go. The first time he laughs,
Yeah.
is going to.
because everybody has a unique laugh too, and so that's the
We
thing.
haven't heard it yet.
What if it sounds like a raptor?
If he laughs, if he laughs like a Nutty Professor Eddie Murphy or something. If he,
Gosh, what if he's a pretty baby with a bad laugh?
oh, I would love it. I think I would love it because there's some bad laughs out there, but you know what bad laughs do?
Yeah,
They make other people laugh.
this is true. Yeah,
I have been the beneficiary of that
yeah,
at a lot of comedy shows of someone having a crazy laugh and then it just
makes it funnier.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then it spreads like a funny COVID. His laugh.
yeah. That's definitely. I mean, I think we can just both have the same number two.
Okay, we'll have to both the same number 2. And lastly, I look forward to him loving. I look forward. I hope life gives him this. If this has been the best week of my life. And I hope anybody listening to this gets to experience this.
It's been pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
I
he
think
gets
here I am now crying. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's been. It's been really special.
And it's not just him. I really do hope that everyone gets to experience my last week. Because I'm here to tell you, it is even better than what I'm describing. It's even better than the tear.
You can't describe it.
I can't communicate it. I've tried my best on this episode of a podcast. You cannot. Yeah. And I don't even know. Maybe, yeah, I just hope that I hope that we get to become grandparents one day.
Yeah.
And
Not too soon.
not too soon. Not too soon. But I hope he gets.
I hope he gets to fall in love. And
Yeah, and have a wedding that dreams are made of, and I hope he gets what we have. I look forward to that moment,
me too.
and when it does happen, if it does, because it's not a guarantee.
No.
It's not. You have to put a lot of work. The best advice I ever got when it comes to a relationship is that it takes work, but there's literally nothing worth doing that doesn't come with work and sacrifice and putting away coffee cups or you more just you have to. Yeah, I just hope he gets to experience this. I look forward to that moment that
that he gets to hopefully hear this and go, yeah, I'm there. This person is that to me.
Yeah.
I look forward to him falling. This isn't on radio anymore. I look forward to him falling the fuck in love.
Yeah. And I hope that he does. And that makes my number 3 sound really trivial.
What graduating?
No, I mean, it's not trivial. I was going to say hearing him say mama and dada for the first
That's not true. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't.
like hearing him like and that goes I guess with the recognition thing, but speaking comes later, right? But that moment where I come home from work and he's like, "Mama."
Yeah.
And now he's squealing cuz he's hungry.
Well, I'll let me be a good dad then.
Okay. I had no doubt. We didn't even talk about really how this is gone, but it's all worth it.
It's been better than that.
Yeah.
I gotta go. We gotta go feed our baby.
Yeah, I can't do that on camera.
I don't think YouTube allows that. This has been my favorite everything and anything. Thanks for listening.
This is for you, Miles.
This episode and honestly entire program is brought to you and made happen by Mo Do It. Mo Do It is the man. I'm a local comedian. I'm a shining example of how much he supports everything local. It's a slip and fall. Call Mo Do It. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. You know the limerick, you know the rhyme, and it's true. He's a great lawyer and even a better person. If you are in a car accident, you should call Mo Do It. Walking around in a convenience store and you slip and you fall, you should call Mo Do It. So I gotta say it, and I love saying it. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. That's justcallmo.com.